For more than a century, the Royal Variety Performance has been entertaining the royal family and the nation. It has brought class acts such as Nat King Cole and Adele and even featured flashes of nudity and magic. Our late Queen Elizabeth II showed a keen interest in the arts and attended 39 Royal Variety performances. But it was her grandparents who first attended what became an iconic event in the entertainment calendar. In 1912, King George V and Queen Mary attended a Royal Command performance at the Palace Theatre in London. The show was organised to fund plans to build an extension to its Brinsworth House home for elderly entertainers. All the top music hall stars of the day perform and 3 million roses adorned the theatre. The First World War scuppered plans for a show between 1914 and 1918, but a second show was finally arranged in July 1919 and billed as a celebration of peace. The show was given its official title, the Royal Variety Performance, which has remained in place ever since. George V called for the evening to be an annual event in 1921. Other rules stipulated that the monarch or a senior member of the royal family would attend in aid of Brinsworth House and the Royal Variety Charity, once a year thereafter. The charity's chair, Giles Cooper, gave a heartfelt statement yesterday as the world learned of Her Majesty's passing. He said, "The Royal Variety Charity is deeply saddened to hear of the passing of Her Majesty the Queen. Her Majesty was patron of the Royal Variety Charity for 70 years, taking on this duty after the death of His Majesty King George VI in 1952. The Queen was an enthusiastic supporter of our charity, and we were honoured to have Her Majesty's presence at 39 Royal Variety performances, the first in 1945 and the final one in the Diamond Jubilee year of 2012. The Royal Variety Charity sends its sincere condolences to His Majesty the King and the entire royal family." In her 70-year reign, Queen Elizabeth II attended half of the Royal Variety performances and stayed long after the curtain had been dropped to meet and laugh with individual performers. The Queen was just 21 when, as Princess Elizabeth, she attended her first show in 1947. On the programme were Laurel and Hardy, Bud Flanagan and Gracie Fields. In 1952, Queen Elizabeth II attended her first Royal Variety as monarch. Norman Wisdom and the Beverly Sisters were among the performers making their royal debut as the new young queen proclaimed, "This is the best show of all." The 1950s saw performances from Count Basie and his orchestra, Dame Vera Lynn, Morecambe, and Wise, Judy Garland and Gracie Fields. The dawn of the 1960s welcomed the first televised Royal Variety performance. An electrifying Sammy Davis Jr. took to the stage for his first appearance of 4. The swinging 60s saw the Queen entertained by Shirley Bassey, Cilla Black, the Two Ronnies, Nat King Cole, Lulu and Morecambe and Wise. But it was the Beatles who made the most notable appearance of the decade as they caused hysterics in 1963 when John Lennon famously said, "For our last number I'd like to ask your help, will the people in the cheaper seats clap your hands? And the rest of you, if you'll just rattle your jewelry." The 1970s welcomed huge names like Harry Belafonte, Max Boyce, the Jackson 5 and Little and Large. And after 16 years of recorded television broadcasts, the show went out live in 1977 for the first time. That year's lineup featured Lionel Blair and Shirley Bassey. The 1980 show had particular significance, as it marked Her Majesty the Queen Mother's 80th birthday. The show took the Queen and the Queen Mother on a journey from a nostalgic look back to the 1930s to the exciting tempo of the 1980s. That decade saw Her Majesty presented to Rowan Atkinson, Michael Ball, Shirley Bassey, the two Ronnies, Sammy Davis, Aretha Franklin, Dolores Gray, Kylie Minogue, for her first of many performances in years to come, and Elaine Paige. The 90s saw Princess Diana attended her one and only performance with the then Prince of Wales, Charles. The pair stood in for the Queen before, 3 years later, Her Majesty attended a performance the same night Diana's infamous Panorama interview is broadcast. That decade, the Queen greeted the likes of Bewitched, Michael Ball, Andrea Bocelli, Bee Gees, Boyzone, Darcy Bussell, Steve Coogan, Charlotte Church, Celine Dion, Gloria Estefan, Leanne Rimes, Spice Girls, Take That, and Roger Moore. Following the turn of the century, Prince Philip was heard to be up to his usual naughtiness as he was heard to mutter, "I wish he'd turn the microphone off," during Elton John's performance. While meeting the singer alongside the Queen later, he told Elton, who had just sold his Watford FC-themed Aston Martin, "Oh, it's you that owns that ghastly car, is it? We often see it when driving to Windsor Castle." The Naughties brought performances from Anastasia, Andrea Bocelli, Bon Jovi, Russell Brand, James Blunt, Alexandra Burke, Busted, Charlotte Church, Miley Cyrus, Craig David, Gloria Estefan, Gareth Gates, Whoopi Goldberg, Luciano Pavarotti, Rod Gilbert, Enrique Iglesias, Jethro, Chaka Khan, Jennifer Lopez, McFly, Michael McIntyre, Al Murray, Rihanna, Shania Twain, Meat Loaf, Leona Lewis, Liza Minnelli and Bette Midler. The first ever winner of Britain's Got Talent, Paul Potts, stunned the nation with his rendition of Nessun Dorma. And in 2009, dance troupe Diversity burst onto stage after winning the show and the chance to perform for Her Majesty. That year saw the Queen meet Lady Gaga, who was dressed in a red PVC suit and 20-feet cloak topped with an Elizabethan-style ruff. The monarch looked entirely unfazed as Gaga curtsied for her backstage while photographers captured the iconic moment. Comedian Peter Kay also performed and joked that his nan was sitting near the Queen and they would be swapping fudge by the interval. But the night was marred by Prince Philip who, on meeting members of Diversity, asked, "Are you all one family?" The Queen missed the 2010 and 2011 performances while Princess Anne and then Prince Charles and Camilla filled in. And in 2012, the Queen attended the performance for the last time. It was the show's 100th anniversary in the same year as the London Olympics and Her Majesty's Diamond Jubilee. David Walliams hosted the centennial show while the Queen sat alongside her beloved Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, as they both giggled at the entertainment on stage. She wore a stunning silver mesh lace evening dress embellished with crystal diamante, designed by Angela Kelly as she stepped out for the event at the Royal Albert Hall. The monarch was treated to an evening of James Bond-themed entertainment to mark the film franchise's 50th anniversary. Welsh soprano Catherine Jenkins sang the national anthem for the 4th year running and she was joined by Girls Aloud, Kylie Minogue, Robbie Williams, Neil Diamond, Rod Stewart, and One Direction. The 2012 Britain's Got Talent winners Ashley and Dog Pudsey performed an acrobatic routine to a medley of Bond themes before fellow winners Diversity took to the stage to entertain the Queen. Read more. RIP Queen Elizabeth II. King Charles tribute to Queen National Mourning. What You Can't Do. Kate and William confirm new titles inside Queen's final week.